Hello there, welcome to Maximum Human Performance. I'm your host, human performance expert, Brad Valancourt, and welcome to episode 9. Now today we're going to talk about what it's like when you've got brain fog. Brain fog can happen any time of the day, anytime. Whether you wake up in the morning, you're like, I can't do this today. What am I going to do? Or it's midday and you're like, I just can't take it anymore. What do you do about it? And what are some of the causes? Right? Let's figure that out. Okay. Now, maybe you're waking up and you're feeling just so brain fog, like you can barely keep your eyes open, kind of brain fog. Now, you might be like Taryn. Taryn had a hell of a time first thing in the morning. It took 2 hours to get from, I can't do this, to, all right, let's go. Right? And that took over a pot of coffee to do that. Now, all that did was screw up her adrenal glands, and she just got more tired as the weeks went on. And before you know it, one pot wasn't enough. She had to go to 2 pots of coffee eventually, and it still was not her. She was just brain fog the entire day, every day. So if you're experiencing that kind of stuff, maybe you are suffering what she was suffering from, which was very low testosterone levels. Now keep in mind there is a relationship when it comes to certain hormones and their relationship with other hormones, right? One goes up, the other one comes down. So for her, when estrogen levels go up, which is like this with all of us, testosterone comes down. Unfortunately, when testosterone comes down, then that anti-stress hormone, cortisol, that we like to talk about, that goes skyrocketing. And man, that goes skyrocketing at the wrong time. I mean, just the wrong time. When you want to be down, you're wired. And when cortisol levels are too low, then you're like this. For her, it was testosterone that was too low before she even got up in the morning. So when it came time for her to have that energy, it took way too long. I mean, way too long. She wasted half of her day. So if you are suffering from that kind of stuff, where you can't get that clarity, you can't get that focus, you want that laser focus for your day, and you can't get that, well, let's see what we can do about that, right? First of all, you're going to want to make sure that you're hydrated. If you're not hydrated, then that's going to bring up your cortisol, which brings down what? Testosterone, right? Now, another thing too is if you want that sustainable energy, the one great thing that you can do is to do some strength training to keep your muscles up. Because after a certain age, usually about the age of 35, you've got to work to keep that muscle up. It doesn't just happen on its own. And if you don't have enough muscle as it is, then your body's metabolism is going to be slow, and testosterone is going to be at an all-time low no matter what time of day. Right. So make sure that you have some regularity when it comes to your strength training exercise. And I'm not saying you have to be, huge or walk around like this. Because if you don't want that, then that's not you. But just have enough in there so that as you get older, you're getting the amount of muscle that you need. You're doing something when it comes to strength training on a regular basis so that you are maintaining the amount of muscle that you have and then increasing a little bit. Right? Just increase where you need it. And if you're not sure, then ask a professional. But definitely make sure that your testosterone and cortisol balance is there. Otherwise, you're going to wake up in the morning with that grogginess, that brain fog, and it's going to take you forever to get out of it. Let's get you out of that in a hurry. Another thing, when you are dehydrated, you want to make sure that you not only quickly hydrate, but bring your pH level back to where it needs to be, right? That nice alkaline, just above base. And you do that through having a sufficient amount of vitamin C. Now what you can do, aside from supplementing from vitamin C, is you can have lemon or lime in your water. First thing in the morning, have like an entire lemon or lime. Right? Start with a half and then build yourself up to a full lemon or lime. Fantastic thing to do. The nutrients in that will help to alkaline your body, and that brain fog can go away much faster. It's a simple way to do it. Set it up the night before. You get a glass water, squeeze your lemon lime in there, and I'm not talking about the plastic stuff. Don't get that concentrated plastic crap. Get a real lemon and or lime, and squeeze that in there. Put it in your container right next to your bed, so as soon as you get up in the morning, so groggy, drink, and then within a few minutes, okay, I can start to feel better now. And guess what? No stimulants to get you there. Because as you know, when you have a little bit of stimulants, then after a while, your body gets used to it, and you have to get more, and you have to get more, and next thing you know, you're at 2 pots of coffee. You don't need two pots of coffee a day. Chances are. Now, if you're not sleeping regularly and you're waking up in the middle of the night, or you're just having trouble getting to sleep, so you're not getting the proper hours in there, whatever is screwing up your sleep, that's going to create that brain fog. And when you create that brain fog from lack of sleep, now you've got your brain trying to function, and it's like burning the candle at both ends. And then you ask your brain, okay, we've had this crappy sleep, but we can get past it. Let's just go ahead and do the high performance stuff that we really got to get done today. Maybe it's big meetings, maybe you've got some huge decisions that are coming up, and if you still have that brain fog, well, that's going to make things not only tough, but it's going to make you making the right decisions for yourself and for your business, for your family. You want to get rid of that brain fog. Take care of business right away, right? You are the master behind yourself, behind your life, and taking the bull by the horns is definitely the way to go. And you don't have to be White Goodman to take the bull by the horns and do a great job. Chances are, if you have all this brain fog going on, there's probably some extra stress and anxiety going on in your life, and you're using up the nutrients that would normally keep you focused, keep you in line, and let you go. It's now being used to basically harbor this anxiety and this stress instead of dealing with it. So it's time to deal with that stress and anxiety. Even if you're only taking care of a little bit of it, that little bit will help you to use less of that energy for that and put more of it towards the focus that you really want in your life. Maybe when it comes to stress and anxiety and you get this brain fog because you're feeling overwhelmed, right? That's exactly what happened with Nevin. If you're like Nevin, then you'll totally understand where I'm going with this, right? You've got anxiety 24/7. You've got so much on the go. You've got stuff that has to get done with your work. And family, that relationship's going to have to go off to the side and put them to the side for now. And all you can do is focus on what's got to get done with work, because you have all these people that you have to take care of. And you know that your family's going to suffer, but in your mind, like, well, I've got to get this done. I don't know how to do both. I feel so overwhelmed. What can I do? That's where prioritizing comes in, right? When you prioritize what has to get done at what particular time, then it's a lot easier for you to figure out, okay, you know what? I can delegate these things to my employees. I can take care of the big picture stuff. And when it comes to my family, I make sure that I talk to them every day and let them know how much I care for them and that things will get better. But right now, I will make sure that I give them a nice big hug and kiss every day, and that I do what I need to in order to listen to them, even if just for a few minutes a day. Right? You're not going to completely shut them out like you have been, because that's going to be huge, right? If you learn to shut out your family, they're going to learn to shut you out when you need them. Then what? Then you've got this wedge built in there, and all that's going to happen is going to get thicker and thicker. Next thing you know, they're going to say, well, if I really need to check out and say goodbye. Very sad thing. You don't want that happening if it doesn't need to happen. Now, what we did for Devin was, Devin had to find out what the root cause is. And you always have to find out, if there's something bothering you, what's the root cause? Is it something that's happening now? Is it something that I'm just reacting to because it reminds me of something that happened way back in the past? Or maybe it happened just a few weeks ago or a month ago, and I'm bringing this back up. I'm reliving this stuff. If you are reliving anything that happened to you in the past, regardless of how far back or how close, and it's causing you any kind of lower vibrational movement, meaning that you're basically going to a negative state or from a positive to a neutral when you need to be up in a positive state, or if you're taking yourself right from that positive right down to the negative state, okay, it's time to get some stuff done, right? You need to delete some things. Delete some of these attachments, and you'll be able to delete these attachments a lot easier when you get to the root cause. So find somebody who can help you get to the root cause, right? I'd be happy to help you. You can even try my 30-day self-mastery challenge, right? It's the ultimate self-mastery challenge. And this you could do on your own time, and hey, you will get some amazing results. If that's what's going to help you out the best, then by all means, give that a try. Look at the link below. Let's continue. If you're somebody who likes to eat out all the time and, grab fast food or just food that isn't what is going to help you with your nutritional needs, right? You're having too much of maybe one type of thing, that's not going to help. That's going to also increase your anxiety, which guess what? Brain fog, because you're not going to have the nutrients to clear out that brain fog and have your brain functioning at such a high level that you need. And you want that brain functioning way up here, right? Not down here all the time because there's so much sludge in the way. And that's what brain fog really is. It's sludge. You got to get rid of that sludge. Now, if you're not sure when it comes to nutrition, then get some help or take a look at what you've been eating. A lot of times when you just write down what you are eating and the times that you're eating, let's say you do that for a week, right? Be honest with yourself, write down what you're eating, drinking, and the times. You'll find out, okay, am I dehydrated? Am I using certain foods because, it's convenient, but it's not really going to help me out? So that convenience factor basically comes at a huge cost. You don't want that. Of course not. You want some high performance foods in you. And it doesn't take much. You can even keep a bag of mixed nuts, raw of course, and unsalted in your desk drawer. That's one way where you can grab a snack. If you're somebody who misses meals, that's perfect. That's going to help keep you clear because you know what? Those good fats that are in the nuts, especially things like walnuts, they've got the highest amount of omega-3 fatty acids. They're going to help with that clarity. They really are. And they're going to give you energy throughout the day without a crash. Now, regardless of what's going on in your life, if you're on certain medications, they're going to create that brain fog, right? And you may have to talk to your doctor and say, hey, you know what? I wasn't getting brain fog when I first started with this stuff, but after being on them for a certain amount of time, maybe we need to adjust the dosage. Can you just check? Right? Ask your doctor. Find out. Maybe it's something that you don't need anymore. Maybe it's something that you need an adjustment up or down, and they'll be able to help you out because that's what they're there for, right? They're there to help you with that kind of stuff. And hey, get yourself to that clarity as quickly as possible. Clear that brain fog right out of the way. Other times when it comes to medications, look to find out what some of the side effects are, right? Maybe some of the side effects are like dehydration. Maybe it has to do with your blood sugar. All these things that can play a factor in which chemicals are going into the brain, which ones are crossing the blood-brain barrier where they really don't need to. And they're wreaking havoc on your brain. Find out by looking and going in depth with what's going on with your medication. And you know what? Sometimes that medication you have to be at a certain dosage in order for you to get to where you need to go in life. Okay. Then you have to look at what are some other things that I can do to help the medication without the side effects being such a negative factor for you. Now, maybe this brain fog has to do more with hormonal changes going on because maybe, it's a certain time in your life where these biological changes are happening. Okay, then what can you do about that? Well, when these biological changes are happening, then you want to start writing down how you feel about that. How do you feel about what's going on in your life? Do you feel like you are lacking control? If you feel like you're lacking control, and control is a huge factor for you, then by writing that stuff down, that will help you to figure out, well, why is it such a big factor and what can I do about it, right? Is it something that I learned from one of my parents? Is it something that not only did I learn from my parents, but it's something that I can stop? Great, do that. Do that right away. Start jotting this stuff down and just empty your brain. Do that brain dump. It will certainly help when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it will give you a much more clear focus when it comes to you trying to figure out why the hormones are going up and when they should be down and vice versa and stuff like that. Another thing for you to look at is where you're living. That can be huge. For instance, if you are living near train tracks that get used all the time, and in my hometown, they have trains going all the time, and they will be stopping traffic in different directions in this one area. And the amount of heavy metals coming off that exhaust are huge. And so if you're living in the city, in a town like that where you have a lot of industry going on, maybe it's like Port Huron, Michigan, where they've got all these chemical factories going on. These chemical factories, yeah, they have to give off their exhaust somehow. And so maybe look into that stuff if that's what's causing the problem. And if you end up living in a place where there is a lot of heavy metals, then you're going to want to do something about that. Because those heavy metals, they will wreak havoc on your system. They will do things like increase the amount of work that your thyroid has to do. It will increase your xenoestrogen, which is the bad estrogen, and all these other things that will go along with it. They'll start clogging certain areas where you're not uptaking certain nutrients, right? Certain things that will help you to relax, calm down, like magnesium, stuff like that. Well, maybe they don't get used as efficiently. Maybe that starts a chain reaction to other nutrients that don't get taken up and used in the brain. Then what do? Right? You've got to figure out what it is that you need to detoxify from and move on from that. Something as simple as using an infrared sauna. That is a far infrared sauna. When you use a far infrared sauna, that's going to help to get a lot of those heavy metals out. It'll get them out of your liver. It'll get them out of the just below the skin. It's a fantastic thing to use. Use that on a regular basis, and you're going to notice your skin is softer. Any redness that was there, that dissipates, and you're going to notice that, hey, you know what? I feel a lot more relaxed because I'm not fighting myself with all these heavy metals inside, and that brain fog dissipates. Now, whether you're somebody with chronic pain and or allergies, that can wreak havoc on your brain fog. I tell you, I personally have a tomato allergy, and it is utter hell, just hell, right? My body overproduces mucus, and then it cements right in my sinus cavity. And for 5 days, I am in hell. I'm in utter pain, just nothing but huge amounts of pain in my head for 3 days. And then the brain fog starts. And as my body's trying to clear out this stuff, there's so much that my body has to do to get rid of all these toxins that I have 2 days of nothing but brain fog. And as the pain dissipates, the brain fog goes up, and up. And it is amazing how awful it is. So if you have allergies like that, then by all means do exactly what you need to do to get away from anything like that. Now you might think, well, then just don't eat any tomatoes. Do you know how many things tomatoes are in? And not every restaurant takes a look at their ingredients and tells you. I found out at a restaurant where I had eaten half of my lamb steak, and I found out that the demi-glaze on there had tomato paste in it. Well, I was on a journey, I tell you, those 5 days, incredible. And you don't want to go through anything like that. So make sure if you have chronic pain, if you have the allergies, so that you can avoid being in that utter, just so much pain, and then going through that process of clearing everything out and having that brain fog. If you can avoid that, please do. Migraines are another, right? If you're somebody that is susceptible to having migraines, why are you getting the migraines, right? Is it from a chemical reaction with food? Is it a chemical reaction from stress? When you put out certain amounts of stress, do you get that feeling where, I can't take it anymore, everything's all bottled up inside, and I just can't take it, I'm just getting this huge migraine, it's growing, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's a lot that can be done for migraines, and from personal experience working with people, you can get rid of those migraines. Just find the root cause. Everything comes down to the root cause. So you have to find out, all right, is this something that is in my DNA? Is it something that is part of my diet plan? Is it something that maybe recently came about because of certain amounts of stress and the way that I handle stress? So we're not blaming stress, because stress will always be there, right? There will always be certain amounts of stress. It's about how you handle stress. And that's really what it comes down to. How you handle stress now compared to how you handle stress 5 years from now when your business has gone from here to here and you maybe have branched off and have 2 more businesses, and then at the same time, your little ones are now at the age where, oh my gosh, I'm pulling my hair out trying to connect with these people. All right, that kind of stuff happens. But hey, if you're handling stress better there than you are now, then you're going to be able to handle more. And when you can handle more, then it's a lot easier on your system. A hell of a lot easier. Now, if you've seen the other episodes, then you know how I talk about gut health and how important that is, right? A lot of our decision-making skills come from our gut. And it literally does come from our gut. Well, if we're not giving the nutrients that we need in order to have a healthy gut flora, right, or just have the right amount of good bacteria to fight off the bad bacteria and have the nutrients so that we can get ourselves into making better decisions for ourselves, right, by doing all these things to clear out that gut, it's going to be huge, just huge. So make sure that you are working on your good gut flora. When you do that, you're going to find 1, you're leaner, 2, that brain fog dissipates and hardly comes back, and then number 3, your decision-making skills, they get better, they get faster, and you know what, you come up with more creative ideas. So make sure that you're working on your good gut health. Think about this. When you're depressed, right, when you have just so much depression going on, how do you feel then? Do you feel light and airy? Do you feel like, hey, you know what, I can take on the world? Of course not. You start piling on, and then you pile on more and more stuff until you get that brain fog, because by then you're feeling so overwhelmed. When you feel that overwhelmed, what good is that? All you do is pile on more and more on yourself, trying to figure out, okay, well, I've got all these issues I've got to take care of, and I have to take care of them all at once. And instead of prioritizing, you try and take on this massive boulder when you can easily do it in chunks. Chunks along the way. Prioritizing what you need is going to help you out so much. Really will. You won't have that overwhelm, that brain fog from being so hunched over and carrying the weight of the world. Oh. Just think how much better you're going to feel too, right? You get that depression won't be there because you'll have dealt with these things. And one thing that's really going to help when you are dealing with depression, smile. That's right. When you smile, you make yourself up to 32% smarter. Think about it. If you are up to 32% smarter and you are trying to get yourself out of depression, you're going to have a lot more ways to do it. You're going to have a lot more creativity. So go ahead and smile, even if you don't want to. If you don't like your smile, here's a hack. Find a picture of something that makes you smile, right? Whether it be somebody else, maybe somebody that you really admire and they're smiling. Or it's something funny that happens, right? And make it very simple. Make it a picture so that you don't have to sit through an entire video. It's something that right away, as soon as you look at it or as soon as you think about it, you think, oh yeah, that was good. All that stuff's going to help you get out of that depression and clear away that brain fog. We want to clear that away as quickly as possible. And you can't do that when you're in a depressive state because you're in a woe is me kind of feeling. Get yourself out of that woe is me. Maybe you got this brain fog, right? Oh, this brain, oh, everything hurts. Now, is that from any kind of substance abuse? That is one we still have to look at. Right? Why are you doing that in the first place? Are you doing that so that you can feel sorry for yourself? Are you doing that so that you can shut the world out and give yourself a break from the stress that you're under? Right? There are better ways to do it that don't have these kind of repercussions. And I tell you, it's not fun at all. Oh, I remember, when you're younger, you think that you're invincible, and I was no different. I never really drank to excess in order to forget anything or to try to separate myself from my world. I did that in other ways. I had other coping mechanisms before I learned what to do about it. Instead, what you're going to want to do is allow yourself that freedom. Right? Allow yourself the freedom and that confidence. You know what? I don't know how I'm going to get myself out of this. I just know that I'm going to get myself out of this. Tell yourself that, and You'll tell yourself that before you reach for whatever that substance is, and you'll feel so much better in the morning. You won't have that brain fog. You won't have that, oh, the world is spinning. Oh, get me out of this world. How many times have you done that already? And it hasn't worked, right? Has not gotten you out of the problem that you're having. And that brain fog takes forever to get out. As a high achiever, it can be really difficult to try and break the pattern that you have had, because you tend to get stubborn. And there's a reason to be stubborn if it's something that you truly believe in that's going to help you and it's a building block. But if it's something that you truly believe in because it's a coping mechanism and it's not going to help you, it's not a building block, then get rid of these things that are not building blocks. And you'll notice that your life gets better. And all those brain fog moments, right, they dissipate, they don't come back. It's great. Life gets so much better. So if you've got anything going on with brain fog, all this stuff, you've got to get to the root cause. Make sure that you get to the root cause. That is number one. Okay, number one. And what can you do until you get to the root cause? Because without getting to the root cause, it's just a bandage. And bandages never last. But here's what you can do. Here are a couple tools. One, jot down what it is that you're feeling right now. Write down your feelings, not what's going on in your brain, but write down your feelings, and that will clear out the brain. Second thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your fingers like this, go on the inlets of your collarbone, here, here. Don't press too hard, because when you're stressed, you're going to be sensitive. Okay, take your fingers like this. Tap your forehead on the inhale. Tap your heart on the exhale. Tap your forehead on the inhale. Tap your heart on the exhale. Great. That's going to help out so much. It really will. Another thing that you can do after that, quickly, take your fingers like this and go cheekbone, cheekbone between the eyebrows. Stare straight ahead. Right? 3 breaths. Keep staring. Just stare. By the time you get to your 3rd breath, you're going to notice, hey, something's different. I don't know what, but that's all right. Something's different in a more positive light. Excellent. How do you feel now? Hope you feel better than when we started this podcast. And for more information, please go to the other episodes. I'm here to help you because I care. I want to help you because you're in pain. I don't want people to be in pain. Now, if you want to get out of pain faster, I highly recommend doing the ultimate 30-day self-mastery challenge. Check it out below. All right, until next time.